Hello everyone! In this video we'll be comparing mass. To do this we'll be seeing how much different objects weigh and then compare their weight. Right, let's observe what this slide is showing us. We can see two balance scales. On the first pan balance we can see a ball on one side and 4 blocks on the other side. On the second pan balance there is a sports shoe on one side and 3 blocks on the other side. I noticed that both scales have their pans perfectly balanced. Do you remember what that means? When the pans on a balance scale are in a straight line, so neither of them is up nor down, we say that they are balanced. This shows that the weight on one side is equal to the weight on the other side. Now let's see what the task is. We read complete the sentences. So we must fill in stem sentences with the information that we gather from the pictures. The first sentence is, the ball weighs blocks. So let's look at the first balance scales. There are 4 blocks balancing the ball. So we can say that the ball weighs 4 blocks. Let's see the next sentence. We read, the shoe weighs blocks. Okay, so how many blocks does the shoe weigh? The shoe weighs 3 blocks. Right. Moving on to the last sentence here, we read that the is heavier than the So here we need to compare the weight of the shoe with that of the ball. Now children, since the two objects are on different pan balance scales, we need to use the common unit to compare them. In this case, the blocks. Keeping this in mind, pause the video. Look at the number of blocks that each item weighs and decide which one is heavier. We'll check out the answer as soon as you're done. Right, so how many blocks does the ball weigh? It weighs 4 blocks. What about the shoe? The shoe weighs 3 blocks. So if the ball weighs more blocks than the shoe, we can say that the ball is heavier than the shoe. Right, let's move on to the next slide. So what do we have here? We have a shoe, a ball and a sock now. Let's read the instructions to see what our task is. We are being asked, can you order these objects from heaviest to lightest? In order to be able to order these objects according to their weight, we need to first know how heavy they are, right? In fact, now we can see their weight in sticks. The shoe weighs 7 sticks, the ball weighs 9 sticks, and the sock weighs 3 sticks. So, children, now pause the video and take some time to compare and figure out the order of these 3 objects, starting with the heaviest. We'll discuss soon. Okay, so this is how I ordered the items. The biggest number of sticks that I can see is the 9 sticks. Right? That's how much the ball weighs, so that must be the heaviest. Do you agree? Let's see. Right. So the ball goes in the first box. We now have the shoe weighing 7 sticks and the sock weighing 3 sticks. I would place the shoe next. And finally, the sock. That seems to be correct. I hope you got the same answer as me. Moving on to the next slide. Here we can see a vase and a flower pot shown in 2 picture sentences. Let's look at them one by one, shall we? First we see that the vase is equal to 4 pencils. Then we see that the flower pot is equal to 5 pencils. So now we are seeing the weight in pencils. The instructions at the top tell us complete the STEM sentences. And this is our first one. The is heavier than the Children, pause the video and think a bit. Which one is heavier than the other? Right, let's continue. Which one weighs more pencils? The flower pot, right? Because 5 is more than 4, so we can say that the flower pot weighs more than the vase. It is heavier than the vase. Let's see. Perfect. On to the next sentence. We read the is lighter than the So, which item do you think is the lighter one? If you wish, you can pause the video until you reason this out. Let me share with you my reasoning. So we know that the item that weighs the least amount of pencils is the lightest. Therefore, since the vase weighs less pencils than the flower pot, we know that the vase is lighter than the flower pot. And there we're correct. Okay, let's move on to the last sentence. Here we read, the weighs 1 more pencil than the The flower pot weighs 5 pencils, whereas the vase weighs 4. And we know that 5 is 1 more than 4, right? So, the flower pot weighs 1 more pencil than the vase. Children, that brings us to the end of today's activities. Weighing and comparing mass can be great fun. Choose any unit you prefer, like blocks or pencils or crayons, but remember not to mix units while measuring the same thing. I hope that you'll join me next time. Bye!